think from Manchester United's perspective, with all of these factors in, I think they kind of think, actually, he is achievable this summer.
Wow.
If all of the factors go their way. Now, as I mentioned earlier with their recruitment, they want player buy-in, so they're going to have to get that from Lewis Hall.
Do you think they're going to get that from Lewis Hall?
I think they will, because I think what Manchester United have to offer him, and again, people listening to this who maybe aren't Manchester United fans will think, oh, it's Manchester United, they're going on that again. It's not to do with that, it's the footballing reasons. Let's not forget Lewis Hall missed out on the England squad. He didn't go to the World Cup, he has no Champions League football. What Manchester United can offer him is Champions League football and a lot more exposure to the England team. Unfortunately, that's how it works, right? When you play for the so-called bigger clubs, right? And I also think for him, he can...
Let us all for keys to talk about this. But yeah, look, summer signings so far. We knew midfield was a priority this summer, and they've acted pretty quickly in terms of getting Andre Santos and Yuri Tillmans in for around 85 million pounds altogether. Now, Cole Darlow, he's coming in on a free from Newcastle United because we're expecting Altay Bayındır, Radek Vitek to both leave the club this summer. Andre Onana went back out on loan to Turkey as well. So Cole Darlow will essentially be the number 2 going into the season. We have Tienan Thompson here as well from Tottenham Hotspur. Very highly rated young winger who will get first team exposure this season. Sebastian, I know you know him quite well, but he'll get first team exposure with, if he impresses, he might get some opportunities on that left hand side this season as well. But then the question is this enough? I mean, the midfield has been dealt with. There are suggestions as to whether they will go for another midfielder. I think they would like to, but it will be very much dependent on how the market develops. I don't think we'll see another 60, 70 million pound signing in the midfield. I think it'll be a lot lower than that. But I also think Manchester United will also look at left back. We reported last week that they have explored the conditions of a deal for Lewis Hall at Newcastle. He is someone we reported in March that they were very high on. And the reason being that Luke Shaw only has 12 months left on his contract. Patrick Dorgu is an interesting one because he's between being a left back and a left winger. And they only have Diogo Dalot, Nusayr Mazraoui, who can play left back, but it's not their preferred position. They need a long-term solution at left back, and that could be Lewis Hall, but I think that's something that we might see develop over the next few weeks.
Okay. Well,